You have probably heard Donald Trump described as a brilliant businessman. But in Atlantic City, the numbers tell a very different story. Between 1995 and 2009, Trump personally collected over $44 million in salary and bonuses from his casino company. During that exact same period, the company lost more than $1 billion. Its stock collapsed from $35 to 17 cents, and investors lost over $1.5 billion. When it was over, contractors went unpaid, small businesses went bankrupt, thousands of workers lost their jobs. And Trump walked away rich. His own verdict on Atlantic City: "The money I took out of there was incredible." So, how did a casino empire that collapsed 4 different times still make its owner wealthier? To understand that, we have to go back to the moment Atlantic City believed gambling would save the city. In 1976, Atlantic City became the first place outside Nevada to legalize casino gambling. The idea was urban renewal. A faded resort town, once glamorous but now decaying, would be transformed into the Las Vegas of the East Coast. It worked at first. By the early 1980s, casinos were booming. Billions of dollars flowed through the boardwalk. Jobs multiplied, property values soared. For a city that had been dying for decades, gambling looked like salvation. The promise was real. Casino workers earned good wages. They got health insurance, pension benefits, and job security. For people without college degrees, dealing cards or serving drinks in Atlantic City meant a middle-class life. Donald Trump saw an opportunity. He arrived in Atlantic City, promising to build the biggest, most spectacular casinos the world had ever seen. He had just finished Trump Tower in Manhattan. His name was becoming synonymous with luxury, with success, with winning. The casinos were desperate for someone like him, someone with flash, someone who could attract high rollers, someone who understood that gambling was not just about cards and dice. It was about spectacle. What nobody knew was that his Atlantic City adventure would end in 4 bankruptcies, billions in losses, and a city left holding the bill. But that was still years away. First came the rise. Trump's first Atlantic City property was Trump Plaza, which opened in 1984. Unable to get financing on his own, he partnered with Harrah's Entertainment. They put up $220 million. Trump put up the name. Within a year, he bought out Harrah's stake for $70 million. He was now the sole owner of a boardwalk casino. In 1985, he bought the Atlantic City Hilton property for $325 million after Hilton's gambling license was denied. He renamed it Trump's Castle, 2 casinos in 2 years. But Trump wanted more. In 1988, Trump bought the unfinished Taj Mahal from Resorts International for $230 million after a battle with television host Merv Griffin. The casino was supposed to cost $250 million to build. By the time Trump was done, the final price tag approached $1 billion. To finance it, Trump issued $675 million in junk bonds at 14% interest. That meant the casino needed to generate $1.3 million in cash flow every single day just to break even on interest payments. Before the Taj Mahal even opened, one man tried to warn investors what was coming. Marvin Roffman had been covering Atlantic City casinos since gambling was legalized in 1978. He worked as a gaming analyst at Janney Montgomery Scott, a Philadelphia brokerage firm. He had 17 years of experience. He knew the numbers better than almost anyone. When he looked at the Taj Mahal's debt load, he saw disaster. In March 1990, Roffman told the Wall Street Journal that the Taj Mahal would break records when it opened. He said, "When the cold winds of October come, it's not going to make it. The market just isn't there." He was giving investors an honest assessment. It would cost him his career. The day the article ran, Donald Trump faxed a letter to Roffman's boss with an ultimatum: either fire Roffman immediately or issue a public apology. Otherwise, Trump threatened a major lawsuit against your firm. Roffman's employer pressured him to sign an apology letter. He did, under duress. But when Trump demanded changes to make the letter say the Taj would be successful, Roffman refused. On March 23, 1990, he was fired. The Taj Mahal opened in April 1990. Michael Jackson attended the grand opening. The casino made $2 million on day one. Trump declared the casino the eighth wonder of the world. By October, just as Rothman predicted, the casino missed its first debt payment. By July 1991, 15 months after opening, the Trump Taj Mahal filed for bankruptcy. Rothman, meanwhile, won a $750,000 arbitration award against his former employer for wrongful termination. He also sued Trump for defamation. That case settled out of court. Years later, Rothman reflected on what happened. He said, "Telling the truth about Trump was dangerous to your career." But the Taj Mahal bankruptcy was just the beginning. And there was a problem Trump had not anticipated. His casinos were eating each other alive. The Taj Mahal's opening caused combined gambling revenues at Trump Plaza and Trump Castle to drop by $58 million in its first year. 3 Trump casinos, all within miles of each other, were competing for the same gamblers. Years later, Trump admitted this was a mistake. His 3 casinos were cannibalizing each other. But by then, the damage was done. The contractors were next. Forrest Jenkins ran a company called Triad Building Specialties. In 1988, he won a $231,000 contract to install toilet partitions at the Taj Mahal. It was a huge job for a small business. When the casino went bankrupt, the payment never came. After years of fighting in bankruptcy court, Jenkins received $70,000, 30 cents on the dollar. His daughter Beth Rosser later said that Trump crawled his way to the top on the back of little guys, one of them being my father. Jenkins was not alone. Over 200 contractors were owed a combined $70 million. They all received 30 cents on the dollar or less. Some lost their businesses entirely. Edward Friel's company made cabinets for Trump Plaza. After the work was completed and approved, Trump refused to pay the final $84,000. Friel's company later went bankrupt. Martin Rosenberg provided glass and mirrors for the Taj Mahal. He said the job nearly cost him his entire company. Stephen Persky, who served as New Jersey's casino regulator during Trump's time in Atlantic City, later said that he put a number of local contractors and suppliers out of business when he did not pay them. So, when he left Atlantic City, it was not sorry to see you go. It was how fast can you get the hell out of here? But contractors were not the only ones who lost. In 1995, Trump took his casino company public as Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts. Investors could now buy shares in his empire. The company advertised that shareholders would benefit from the widespread recognition of the Trump name and its association with high quality. Over the next 14 years, those investors would lose over $1.5 billion. The stock peaked at $35 in 1996. An improving national economy and an upturn in Atlantic City gambling had investors excited. Trump returned to the Forbes 400 list of America's wealthiest people for the first time since 1989. Then the company started losing money. It kept losing money. By 2004, the stock had crashed. The company filed for bankruptcy that year with $1.8 billion in debt. Throughout it all, Trump kept getting paid. In the bankruptcy restructuring, Trump's ownership stake dropped from 56% to 27%. He kept his $2 million annual salary. The company also continued paying for his personal luxuries. Between 1998 and 2005, it spent more than $6 million to entertain high-end customers on Trump's plane and golf courses, plus about $2 million more to maintain and pilot his personal jet. In 2005, while shares sometimes traded below $1, Trump received a 71% raise. He told the Wall Street Journal that, other than the stock price, we're doing great. Executive pay consultant Grafe Crystal watched the company at the time. He said that he ran these companies into the ground. A Temple University professor later studied Trump's casino performance compared to competitors. He found that Trump's casinos lost 37% more employees and 33% more revenue than other Atlantic City properties during the same period. No other major American business has filed for bankruptcy 4 times. Trump's casinos did in 1991, 2004, 2009, and 2014. Each time, Trump personally walked away with money. Each time, investors, workers, and contractors bore the losses. And the casinos had other problems besides debt. In 1998, the Trump Taj Mahal paid $477,000 in fines for violating anti-money laundering rules 106 times in its first 18 months of operation. At the time, it was the largest fine ever levied against a casino for Bank Secrecy Act violations. Federal investigators noted that during this period, the Taj Mahal had become the preferred gambling spot for Russian mobsters living in Brooklyn. In 2015, the casino admitted to having willfully violated anti-money laundering regulations for years. This time, the fine was $10 million. It was the largest penalty ever levied by the federal government against a casino. By 2014, the bill came due for Atlantic City. The city that had gambled on gambling was losing. Competition from casinos in Pennsylvania, New York, and elsewhere had been siphoning customers for years. The 2008 recession crushed discretionary spending. High rollers went to Macau. Regular gamblers stayed home. 4 casinos closed that year. The Atlantic Club closed in January. The Showboat closed in August. The Revel, which had cost $2.4 billion to build, closed after just 2 years. And Trump Plaza closed as well. 8,000 workers lost their jobs. Newly unemployed dealers and waitresses lined up at the Atlantic City Convention Center to apply for unemployment benefits. The same convention center where Miss America contestants had just arrived for the pageant. The contrast was impossible to miss. The city's assessed property value had fallen from $20.5 billion in 2010 to $11.3 billion in 2014. Nearly half its tax base was gone. The city that Monopoly was based on was facing the prospect of becoming the next Detroit. Trump Plaza closed on September 16, 2014. It was the 4th Atlantic City casino to close that year. 1,300 employees lost their jobs that day alone. In its final week of operation, the dealers' pooled tips had fallen to $6.56 per hour. At its peak, they had been $20. The building looked like it had given up. Stained carpets, roped-off gaming areas, a neon sign missing letters that read "U Laza" staring balefully down the boardwalk. By then, Trump hadn't controlled the company for years. He had resigned as chairman in 2009, keeping only a 10% stake that would be wiped out in the 2014 bankruptcy. But his fingerprints were everywhere. A Temple University bankruptcy expert summarized it this way: Trump twisted the bankruptcy process to benefit himself, even as the casinos continued to hemorrhage jobs and lose money. 2 years later, in 2016, the Trump Taj Mahal finally closed for good. Carl Icahn, who had taken over the property, had lost nearly $100 million trying to save it. The workers had been on strike since July. They wanted their health insurance and pension benefits restored, benefits that had been stripped away in 2014 bankruptcy. They lost. Nearly 3,000 more jobs disappeared. The strike became the longest in Atlantic City's 38-year casino history. On February 17, 2021, what remained of Trump Plaza was demolished by implosion. It was the second casino in Atlantic City history to be destroyed that way. The city considered auctioning off the right to push the button that detonated the explosives, with proceeds going to charity. The idea was scrapped after legal objections. Trump's Atlantic City story reveals something about how certain people succeed in America. He arrived promising jobs, promising revitalization, promising to make Atlantic City great. He left, having extracted $44 million in personal compensation, while his company lost over $1 billion. Stock and bondholders lost $1.5 billion more. Contractors lost $70 million. Workers lost their health insurance and pensions. The city lost half its property tax base. Trump's defense has always been the same. Quote, "I had the good sense to leave Atlantic City before it totally cratered." He claims his timing was brilliant, but the timeline tells a different story. He didn't choose to leave. In 2009, bondholders stripped him of control. He kept his stake because they needed his name. When asked about the bankruptcies, Trump has said, quote, I use the laws of the country to my benefit, which is true. He did. The question is, who paid the cost? Forrest Jenkins, who installed toilet partitions expecting $231,000 and who received $70,000. Edward Friel, whose cabinet company went under after Trump refused to pay. The retirees whose mutual funds held Trump casino bonds. The 8,000 workers who lost their jobs in 2014. The city of Atlantic City, still struggling to rebuild a decade later. They all paid. Trump walked away rich. Quote, "The money I took out of there was incredible." If you want more stories about powerful people and the costs they leave behind, subscribe. Tell me in the comments, should business leaders be held accountable for bankruptcies? Or is this just how capitalism works?